Have you ever thought about this? If you're driving somewhere and you depend on a certain machine, let's say, and then a screw comes loose in your machine, now you cannot continue driving. You see, your journey cannot continue because the screw came loose. But don't worry, you'll carry a wrench with you. So you get off the car, open the hood, pick up your wrench, and you tighten the screw so you can continue your journey. Listen to this for a second. What if, in the same situation, the wrench itself is broken? Now how can you tighten the screw? And you might say, dude, what are you talking about? Just pick up another wrench. No, I know. But follow me on this. And I was thinking about therapy and what we do and how we all have a lot of tools. For some people, eating excess food is one of the tools. Oh, I feel kind of bummed out. Don't worry, let's go get some ice cream. They feel better. Other people, they feel kind of bummed out, but don't worry, let's go have a beer. They feel better. So you might think, dude, those are coping mechanisms. Those are not tools. And, well, it's all relative to that person. That particular mechanism might work, might function as a tool to get them out of that state, pull them out of that state. Someone else might go read a book or go to the movies or listen to loud music or whatever else, go for a run or maybe lift some weights or whatever it is that they like to do to sort of switch out of that mentality. That's all great. But what if your very ability to get back on track, the very tool that we claim to have to get ourselves back on track, what if that breaks? So this is what we call a breakdown or a burnout in our business. When that happens, it is not so simple. Because look, let's talk about depression for a second. The person is going along, they get fired, they feel betrayed at work, whatever the case is. I'm making all this up, but then they get into this depression. If the tools are working, they say, you know what, I'm going to work out every day, I'm going to lift some weights, I'm going to go for a run, I'm going to fast, I'm going to go on a diet, I'm going to do some crunches, I'm going to read some books, and I'll pull myself out of this funk. Great, the tools are working. But what if they're so deep into the hole that the tools don't work? In other words, they can't go to the run, they cannot lift the weights, they can't listen to the music, they won't read for whatever reason, they can't or they won't read. So none of the conventional tools that would normally get them out of that situation are working for them now. Now what do you do? In that case, and by the way, I talk about these things over and over, and people think I'm making this up or that this only happens because if you're not in that situation, you're not familiar with it, you would think, well, just come on, just go for a walk and you're going to be fine. It's all in your head, people say, get over it. It's all in your head. Just don't think about it, stuff like this. But, for